Hi, Steve here, and today is another one of those days that we just wake up and we go, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. There's a lot going on this earth we live on, and today I had the good fortune to do a couple errands. One was to go do recycling, and there I ran into a gentleman I've known for many years, back to 2014, so 10 years, I'd say. And it was good to see him and hear what he's been up to. And then I was at the Good Cheer, and I ran into a woman who I used to hang out with in the garden. So there's a vegetable garden there. And so we would spend time talking about things as we stood and washed vegetables for the food bank. And then I met a woman named Trish. So, Trish, if you're watching this, hi again. It was great to connect with you. And how often in our days do we feel that much of a heart connection, like right away? So, it was good to meet you. And I was telling Trish that today, as I was driving over to do my errands, um, my guide suggested that I set up the World Healing Field again. And I hadn't felt like the World Healing Field had, you know, worn down or anything. It seemed like it was still functioning, but I guess there had been some additions to the field that hadn't been necessarily included in the World Healing Field, but just in individual sessions. So I set up the World Healing Field anew, and so that is currently in place. So if the World Healing Field feels new to you, then great. It just, I guess, was needing an upgrade, and so hopefully it got that upgrade. And because I set up a new World Healing Field, I also did a World Healing session. So you're going to feel probably some contact with that World Healing Field session. Actually, it is continuing, so it's been running for a couple hours. But that World Healing Field session is an individual event that we're releasing and integrating at this time. And so, welcome, you know, to you new people who, new and old friends who are just coming to my site and listening to whatever words I have, be they words of wisdom or words of idiocracy. I mean, who knows what you're going to hear. But I would say mostly you're going to hear it from the heart. And so, as we work with the energies of today, the thought is I was getting my little bits of equipment out, a little bit of lighting, and a little stand for my computer, and a chair to sit on, and all of those little accoutrements of making videos, professional appearing of videos. But I was having the thought that, well, I've lost it. I've lost whatever that thought was. So let's see if I can have that thought again. Well, we'll see if that thought comes. If that's an important thought that needs to be expressed and it shows up in my head, I'll express it at that time. So we set up a world healing field. Um, the one that had been up before had been up since the end of January of 2020. And so this is the beginning of the last year of the spiritual cleansing within the 28-year cycle of cleansing of the earth. First 7 years were physical, next 7 years were mental, next 7 years were emotional, and now from 2018 to 2025, it's spiritual cleansing. And one of the things I talked about with one of the people that I saw today was this kind of um, beginning to be more reactive to the environment, physically reactive to the environment, and having things show up, maybe some type of allergic reactions or something that have been showing up. And I have been very aware of my own process of detoxing that has been going on since mid-August. And so I've not really felt sick during that period of time, although I've felt tired at times when I was really doing some powerful body getting rid of toxins experiences. So I could be very tired during those times, and I just didn't feel as well as I generally do. And then I began to notice there was a kind of a fluctuation of, oh, I'd feel really good, and I'd feel not so good. And then I'd feel pretty good, then not so good. There were these waves of up and down, biorhythmic waves that I was just much more aware of. And the person I was talking to said that she had been feeling like she was becoming more and more sensitive. And I felt like there are certain connotations to the word sensitive. And I feel like a better word for people to use is more aware. So I'm becoming more aware. And I feel like it's useful to become more aware every day. Just more aware and maybe less reactive. Now, if we are reactive, then we have the opportunity to let go of our reaction. So our reaction is typically emotional. We might feel fearful, and we might feel sad, and we might feel angry. Those are the big three. There's others as well, but those are the big three. Those are much of what people feel. And again, this yawning typically has to do with the release of fear and the release of any panicky energy in the chest. And so this is just kind of random, but just came into my consciousness. I received a text message this morning from a dear friend of mine who was writing to tell me that he had listened to the last video that I posted, and while he was watching it, took him back to another life event that was in Ireland. And then he cleared that. But I thought it was interesting that it took him to another life event that took place in Ireland. Now, currently, my stepdaughter, who is an international dance, ballet, modern ballet, modern dance, contemporary dance choreographer. So she's a contemporary dance choreographer internationally. So she travels all over. And she's currently in Scotland. So she's been sending me videos and pictures from Scotland, which pretty much, very much look like the island I live on. But she's in Scotland, and I've been reading novels that have had to do with England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and France, that whole area. And there are Arthurian tales of, of the time during Arthur. and Lancelot and Guinevere and whatever names that Galahad, that whatever names you have maybe heard, but this was a novel of that time period, but very historically researched as much as you can believe in the history of Arthur, because Arthur may just be a myth. So many things may just be myths, but there's something behind them that maybe are useful stories. So I just completed this 3 series, you know, trilogy of novels about Arthur and his life and his early life and his later life and to the completion. And then I heard from, and her name is, well, you could just type in the blue light person, Rebecca. I think Nancy Rebecca is her name. She has a YouTube channel and she works with these beings of the blue light. And I think these beings are maybe from Sirius. But she has been assisting them as a human on Earth, downloading these blue light energies in various locations around the planet. And then I just, because I've watched a couple of her videos about downloading these blue light energies, then I can't remember what it's called, algorithm. I think my friend calls it the algorithm, and it sounds better than artificial intelligence spying on you, making up what you want to see, and then putting it there for you, which is probably true as well. You could just call it whatever you want. But so they had put this video up from Nancy Rebecca, and it was about another blue light download of energy. And this blue light is energy of peace, which is also, I've been talking about the deep self, which is also the experience that people have been reporting back and I've experienced when I connect with my deep self. So if you want to right now, just say, I connect with my deep self. And you may feel yourself going into the core of your being, center of your spine, the center of your pranic tube, the center of who you think of as yourself. And you may feel energy begin running up and down. That oftentimes happens when you connect with the deep self. And I just thought it was interesting. All these relationships, my novels, reading about England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, France, all the energies that were stirred up in that period of 4 to 500 AD is the time period he was supposedly writing about. It's a novel, so you can say but that's the time period he talked about, 4 to 500 AD. And then Nancy Rebecca talked about these blue lights of peace coming into the planet, bringing just the vibration of peace into the planet, and how that was releasing all these kind of war traumas, clan traumas, all the violence and death and stuff that occurred in Ireland, similar to England, people invading from here, there, they're invading there, they're just a lot of invading, a lot of colonization, a lot of people from one area who saw themselves as a group going in and taking land from another area who saw themselves as a group, and then the battles between the groups. So a lot of this battle energy is clearing on the planet, even though there's battles going on. So even if you don't watch the news, even if you don't follow the talking heads or even the talking cheds, the chest heads. So those are the cheds. So even if you don't follow, the cheds or the talking heads, you still probably know that there are battles going on and probably all over, but the ones in the news that you hear about to your friends, whether you want to watch them or hear about them or not, you do hear about them from clients and friends in my case. And there's a lot of that energy going on, but there's a lot of that energy being cleared from the field. So the past 7 months for me has been fairly intense in terms of the world's energy and working with them. They were pretty intense when I first set up the World Healing Field in the end of January of 2020. They were really intense for all of 2020. And then for me, those energies got a little less intense in 2021 and a little less intense in 2022, although they changed and there became a lot more grief and loss energy in 2022 and 2023. But it was only like the last 5 months of 2023 when it just felt like the energies just got really intense. And just for me, it might not have occurred to you, for you. But if it did occur for you that you felt this intensity, then it's useful to know that so did someone else. We can have the feeling inside ourselves and project them onto our world. So we all do that. So we all project a feeling inside ourselves on our world. And we also can do the thing where anything we feel responsible for it. So, oh, I feel these horrible feelings, then I must be horrible. I must be blamed for these horrible feelings. So there's all sorts of things we can do with our head that are useful and not useful. It can be either. But many of the patterns of behavior that we've had can be let go now. Just patterns of behavior that we no longer find useful. So, like self judgment and other judgment, we can just let it go. If you find yourself judging another, like let that go. In the moment, if you find yourself judging another and you just release that and just let the other be themselves without judgment. So you just let that go right then. When you find yourself judging yourself, if you do, if you don't, that's even better. But if you do find yourself judging yourself, then go, oh, I'm judging myself. I choose to let this go. And in that moment, you can release that energy of judgment towards yourself. And if you're doing this with me, you might even be feeling it. Because I don't do a video where I make believe per se. I do a video when I actually energetically act out the thing I'm suggesting. That's why when you do it with me, you may feel it. So if you feel this self judgment and you feel this maybe shame or guilt or whatever you feel, recrimination, whatever those energies are, and you feel them, then you feel what they do, and then you choose to let them go, and you really literally just let them go. And as you let them go, you feel the energy clear. And this is clearing the internal energies out, some of them. There may be others, it's a continual process until it's done. But we let these energies go, and we're connected to our deep self. So we're feeling the peace running up and down through the pranic tube, through the cerebral spinal fluid, through the meninges inside of the spine. These fluids are flowing, these energies are flowing, and we feel them flowing up and down. And when they flow up and they release up through the crown chakra, they come out like a shower and just bathe us in this clear feeling of peace. And they can come up through the feet again, up through the center, back out the top, and surround us with this energy, this shower of peace, this peace shower. Those energies can also come in through the top and go down and out the feet and come back up again. So they can move both directions. They can be coming up and out, and they can be coming down and in. And we're the center point. can never quite figure out how to get my hands correct. The center point between the higher realms and the lower realms, and we're the center realm. We're the point between the higher and the lower realms. We are that point. So that's probably enough, especially for you who are just joining me possibly for the first time. That's probably enough work for one day. And I just wanted to bring you up to date on what was happening now. And each time I bring you up to date on what's happening now, it's what's happening now for me, but you may be able to relate to it. You may have been having similar feelings that you didn't know what they were. The energies that I'm feeling today, so the last few days I was feeling the energies up higher, and they were a little more panicky energies that I was releasing. And today I feel that energy is a little bit lower, kind of in that hollow of my chest, which is approximate area of the thymus chakra or heart chakra. Um, they're different things, but it doesn't matter. Whatever you think it is, whatever you feel there. And again, there's a release of this tension that relates to either our thymus, our immune system, or our heart can be felt there. But whatever it is, whether it be the thymus or the heart or something else, we can state, I choose to let this go, and then feel it release from the core of it. Then just feel that release. It may cause you to yawn. It almost always causes me to yawn when I'm releasing this deep energy, and I just keep letting that energy go. You can actually push it out if you want. You don't have to hurry it, but you can just push it out. You can, if you can feel it, you can heal it. So you feel it, you just push it out, and then you go back into your deep self, and you again work with those energies of peace coming out like a shower and going in like a shower, like a funnel, those feelings of peace going inside you. That'll be enough for today. And for those of you who have just joined me, welcome. And I hope that our relationship serves us both and serves our planet and all the people that reside, all, not just the people, but all the sentient beings, all the plants and animals and humans and cultures, and may all benefit from the work that we do right from the place of ourself, right from the core of our being. So good to have you here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And as always, now let's go.